There are moments in life when a single heartbeat can change everything, when a quiet afternoon turns into a storm, and the way a person reacts becomes a lesson remembered for years. That moment came for Senator John Kennedy on a day that was supposed to be ordinary, a broken bar until it wasn't. It began at a charity event in Baton Rouge, a warm community gathering where families mingled, volunteers laughed, and everyone looked forward to making a difference. Kennedy had attended countless events like this with his wife, Becca, a woman known not for politics, but for her kindness, her gentle humor, and her ability to make anyone feel at ease. But sometimes, even the brightest souls become targets. As the crowd shifted inside the open-air hall, a local activist known for her aggressive style stepped forward. Her voice rose above the chatter, sharp enough to make nearby heads turn. Without warning, she launched into a loud, personal attack, not at the senator, as many expected, a broken bar, but at his wife. She mocked her age. She mocked her clothing. She even mocked the way Becky had stumbled earlier while helping carry donation boxes. People froze. Some exchanged uncomfortable glances. Others whispered, unsure if they should intervene. But Becky stood there stunned, her face paling as each word cut deeper. And Kennedy, a broken bar, simply watched. At first, many didn't understand. This was Senator Kennedy, a man known for his sharp wit and willingness to stand his ground on national television. Why wasn't he stepping in? Why wasn't he defending his wife? But what happened next would answer every question. Kennedy stepped forward slowly, not with anger in his eyes, but with a calm so steady it made the room fall silent. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't lash out. Instead, he gently placed his hand on Becky's shoulder and looked at the woman who had just humiliated her. And then, with quiet clarity, he spoke. "Ma'am," he said, "I've spent my whole life listening to people argue, but I've never once been impressed by someone who tries to feel tall by making someone else feel small. My wife came here to serve you, to help raise money for people who need it. If the only thing you came here to do was tear her down, then the only person you've embarrassed today a broken bar is yourself." The crowd seemed to exhale all at once. The activist's expression shifted from fury to shock. She tried to respond, but the murmurs of disapproval from the audience grew louder. People stepped forward not to take sides politically, but to support the woman who had been attacked for no reason other than existing. One elderly volunteer wrapped an arm around Becky. A teenage girl handed her a cup of water. Even a few of the activist's own supporters backed away, realizing they had gone too far. Kennedy wasn't finished. He turned to the crowd, his voice softer now. "We've forgotten how to disagree without destroying each other," he said. "My wife is not a senator. She's not running for anything. She's a person, and all she wanted was to help. If we can't treat each other with basic decency, we've already lost more than any election could ever take from us." In that moment, it wasn't a politician speaking, it was a husband, a neighbor, a man who believed that compassion mattered more than winning an argument. The room erupted in applause. Tears streamed down Becky's cheeks, and not from humiliation anymore, but from relief. A broken bar from gratitude, a broken bar from the overwhelming support flowing toward her from every corner of the room. Kennedy simply pulled her into a gentle embrace, whispering something only she could hear. Later, several attendees said the same thing. He didn't defend her with anger. He defended her with dignity. The activist eventually slipped away, her voice drowned beneath the wave of unity that she had never intended to spark. And Becky, once shaken, stayed for hours after the event, helping pack boxes, shaking hands, smiling through the healing warmth of community kindness. As the sun dipped behind the horizon, Kennedy placed a hand on his wife's back, guiding her toward their car. When asked why he chose such a calm approach, he shook his head and replied, "Anger would have made it about me, grace made it about her." And that, according to everyone who witnessed Ida, is what left the crowd speechless. Because in a world that seems to grow louder by the day, John Kennedy reminded everyone that strength isn't always in the shout of broken bars. Sometimes, it's in the silence. Sometimes, it's in the choice to be kinder than necessary. Sometimes, it's in standing tall without ever stepping on someone else. And that message, simple, powerful, unforgettably echoed long after the event was over.